All I know is we just never underestimate the power of the handicap. Just don't do it.
Don't fucking do it, people. Yeah, we are talking about Daredevil, Born Again, again. And have you seen the first three, or
All three. I
you've
binged them
seen?
all last night.
All right, he's seen all three.
I had to do the homework.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, let's do the pros. If you have any pros, let's go over those first and get those out of the way, and then we'll get to the cons. But if you want to go first, you can, and then
Okay. From what I can tell, they don't seem to be shitting on anyone's character
right, okay,
so far. Which I can't believe that's active. That has to actively be put in the pros list, but that's where we are now.
I mean, we've got data to suggest otherwise. So we've seen the character assassinations throughout Disney's Marvel these past few years. So it's a fair statement to make.
Who, Charlie Cox and what's his name, Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin.
Yes, yeah.
The two of them together still have fantastic chemistry. They play off each other really, really well.
I agree.
And I respect where they're trying to go with, or what I presume they're trying to do with Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are the only bits of unqualified praise I can give beyond just generic, good cinematography, pretty good choreography. I don't think it's up to Netflix level, but pretty good.
No, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
But all the other praise, there is more to praise, but there are, I don't want to say caveats, but they have elements that to me don't quite gel. So to compliment them and ignore the issues would be disingenuous. What are your thoughts?
That's fair. No, I'm with you. The cinematography of it all, like they definitely, like I get like a cinematic feel with every episode that I watch. It almost feels cinematic. The choreograph, the fight scenes, like you said, they're not on par with the Netflix Daredevil, but they're fine. They're good. Better than what we've seen from Disney's Marvel. So
better than the She-Hulk fight scene,
correct,
or the Hawkeye, or the Echo fight scene.
Echo, yeah, seriously, fuck's sakes. Yeah, the chemistry between Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox is still there. I thought I was going to have a problem with Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, and I don't per se. I still remember how he was treated in Echo, but it kind of feels like they're going back to Kingpin in the show. Like I'm kind of getting the feeling that they're going back to his roots, so to speak. Just with the small things he's doing, he's trying to act like he's really caring about the city and wants to change and, do things on the up and up, but at the same time, he's still willing to blackmail a police chief. And the way he talks to his wife about letting them all kill each other off. And yeah, I think there's definitely some planning and a method to what's going on and why he put himself in that position. So yeah, like so far, his characterization, Charlie Cox is Daredevil, what he's doing. I know we talked about this before, the law scenes in the show. Definitely, you can tell they had some consultants or somebody who did some research, at least, unlike She Hulk, which was just fucking out of nowhere. That show was ridiculous when it came to the law scenes, although they even admitted that they really didn't, you know, use any outside references or resources for their show. I mean, it showed. So if that says anything, but yeah, even the law scenes, the courtroom scenes, and the show were good. So yeah, those are definitely some highlights for me in regard to Daredevil Born Again. Uh, yeah, so let's talk about some things we have some issues, some caveats. Let's talk about it. Let's tackle about it.
Okay, I do have a little bit of an issue with some of the law stuff.
Okay.
When Matt is trying to get them to render the white tiger stuff inadmissible.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I don't think that would fly. Grant, I'm not a lawyer. Don't have any law training. I took one law class in college. But I don't feel like that would fly, first of all. But the biggest problem I have was the fact that Matt somehow gets that to fly, and then he flouts it. That should have gotten him kicked off of the case. Or something. Like, I don't know what the legal process would be, but he should have had the book thrown at him. Because that's, like,
As
you're
far
very
as like,
explicitly breaking the law.
oh, like when he got it, when he like talked about it when he wasn't supposed to.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, he should. Yeah, there definitely should have been some consequences to what he did. Like it was just kind of like a smack on the wrist or whatever. It was like, oh, like you shouldn't have done that, blah blah blah. And he's like, well, this is why I did it, and now I was taking a shot in the dark, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, nah, there would definitely been some consequences for what you just did in this guy's courtroom. Like that's crazy.
At minimum, mistrial. When they're like, well, we can't do a mistrial, I'm like, no, you absolutely would.
Yeah.
I don't need to be a lawyer to know that that's how that would play out.
Yeah, like when you're introducing shit that argued against, unbeknownst to everyone, that's definitely, I feel like that's just cause for a mistrial
I
or
mean,
or something. I mean, chat, you can let us know, but I feel like that's just not. There's definitely should have been more consequences than a
just
simple,
don't do it again, angry
yeah,
face.
just a wave of the finger.
I mean, like, I don't know if it's a bad enough thing to get disbarred over. Like, I don't know if I'd go that far
No, I don't know if I
as a
go.
layman, but there would definitely be a punishment, and it wouldn't be a minuscule one either. Like,
Yeah,
they'd be feeling that for a while.
I feel like it's definitely grounds for like maybe like going to the review board, having a meeting, having just some type of this is the this is the conduct that you conducted. Like this is not going to fly. Like just some type of formality where he had to show up and be properly reprimanded and threatened. To the point of of taking away his license, so to speak. Uh, instead of and this was like a pretty high profile case. Like we're talking about a cop being, who was allegedly killed, by the person you're representing. So like this is high profile, So you would think just with the level and the status of this case, he would have gotten, even more reprimanded than, that bullshit talk in the judges' quarters. But yeah, no, I feel you on that.
I mean, don't forget, She-Hulk got fired because she saved everyone's life.
Right.
So, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I submit that the fact that they dared to have Daredevil in that show makes it fair game to compare.
Oh my god, I feel like they just only put him in there to try to like add some type of validity and credibility to She-Hulk. Like that's all that was. It's like, oh, watch this show because Daredevil's gonna be in it. Like,
He was in like all the marketing, and he didn't show up until like the last 2 episodes.
yeah, exactly, which was on purpose because they needed people to tune in to see which week he was gonna be in there. Because that show, right out of the gate, that show was getting some bad PR just with like the CG and actors opening their mouths. Like it was already hitting the shit show. Um, yeah, it wasn't doing well out of the gate. So I don't know, man.
OG Fiona looked better than She-Hulk.
No, dude, facts, fucking facts. Yeah, shit was hitting the fan. That's what I was trying to say. But yeah, no, I agree with you on that particular scene. I like did not like how the show started. Like I understand it I just thought it was like such a fucking bait and switch bullshit. Like you can tell they wanted to hit the ground running by like killing off Foggy, and then Karen just ends up fucking off because Matt's all closed off now. But I'm just like, this is not. I don't like this.
See, that was another thing that the degree to which that upsets me depends on what they do with it. If that was just their way to write Karen out, then I have a problem with it. But if she shows back up and you know what I mean?
Right.
Otherwise, it just, like if they just use it to write her off, she was just a key jacker. That's all she was. That's all
Yes.
they both were.
They both
Really?
well, Foggy definitely were. I mean, we get this that's why I put this scene up here. I mean, we get this really good scene of both of them, and then like 5 minutes later, fucking what's his name there? Poindexter just fucking kills Foggy, and I'm like, for fuck's sakes, like. And here I thought he was like gonna be a character in the show. Pretty
I forget. Does Matt go on a killing spree in the original season 3? Does he actually start killing people?
I don't think so. I don't think so. The Netflix series?
Yes.
No, I don't think he does. No, it's the Netflix series. That essentially was Born Again, the Netflix series. No, he just like it has like an existential crisis about whether or not to even be a hero anymore. Essentially, he's struggling with the worlds that he lives in. The one where he wants to protect his city, and two, the people around him. He's trying to come to terms with what's going on. So like that's the Born Again aspect that I guess they're trying to do here in this show. But no, he doesn't go on a killing spree on that.
Okay. The other thing is, I get that it's supposed to be thematic, but the music is really on the nose.
It's too much for you.
The first song you hear is "I Don't Believe in an Interventionist God," and you cut to freaking Matt Murdock. I'm like, fuck you. It's like I get where you're going with it, and I get why it's there, but it's
It's like, for fuck's sake, be more creative. Do better,
Be subtle.
Slater.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
um, yeah. The the thing that a little bit, the thing that confused me a little bit
mhm.
also was when White Tiger was killed. Was that actually Punisher, or was that just somebody framing the Punisher? Or and if it was Punisher, did Kingpin put him up to it? Because it doesn't seem like the two of them would be. It seems like Kingpin would be like number one on the Punisher's hit list.
All right. So I'm gonna go off of what I remember from the Netflix series, which I think this show is a continuation. I'm pretty positive. And from what I do know and remember, the Punisher would have no association with the Kingpin whatsoever. I think that whoever shot and killed White Tiger was someone impersonating the Punisher. I don't know if they wanted to bring him out of hiding or bring him back to light, or if it was just one of those fanatics who are like, Punisher's got it right. Like, and he decided to put on a vest and spray paint the skull and go do what he had to do. We saw those Punisher fanatic tattoos that everyone was wearing or had, and even the symbol on like on buildings and stuff like that. So, and a lot of the cops seem to have embraced this ideology, which they just kind of twisted and warped uh, for their own personal gain, essentially. But I think that a cop did it. I think that one cop did it. Actually, I forgot his name. The one
I
who,
know who you mean though.
yeah,
The guy that was
yeah. I think he did it, and I think he probably did do it to one to get the Punisher's attention, and then two, I think just to take out White Tiger. I think they were like super pissed about it and wanted him dead. So yeah. And then, again, you can just blame it on like, oh yeah, it's a Punisher fanatic. Because I don't think so that because I was thinking about this. I don't think Frank Castle would have he would have done his homework, right? Like especially if Murdoch's on the case, like he would at least have approached Murdoch first and been like, hey,
why are
what's
you
going
protecting
on?
the scumbag?
Why are you protecting him? What do you know? Like he would have at least had a conversation with Matt first, or even Karen, essentially, or somehow made contact with Matt just because of their history. So
Yeah,
I just don't think Frank Castle just would have fucking up and did that out of the blue. That's why I think it's somebody who's impersonating him.
especially for the Kingpin's benefit.
Yes. And you know what?
Like,
I can see, then this is what I was talking about, with that plan that, maybe they're trying to go back to the original Kingpin here. Like you said, maybe this was his plan. He orchestrated this to make it seem like the Punisher did it. There's probably cameras, and then Matt's like the Punisher did it, and then Matt's got to suit up again, or maybe the Punisher comes back in town, and now we got vigilantes, and now he wants to arrest them too. So it's like there could be a slew of things to come in this show because of that single action. So,
yeah,
and then also having his wife, like them do couples therapy with the girl that Matt's seeing as well. So it's like,
did I miss? Was that deliberate on Kingpin's part?
I yes, 100%, hundred
Okay,
percent, yeah. I get the feeling that Kingpin doesn't do anything without it's without knowledge and planning. I think he's been keeping tabs on Matt, obviously, and yeah, this lady's good. Apparently, from what we've seen, she's supposed to be a good psychologist, um, a good therapist. So it would make sense that you know to anyone else, like, oh yeah, let's go to her for counseling. But I feel like because I'm pretty sure she said she normally doesn't do couples. I'm pretty sure she said that. Um, so yeah, I think that he orchestrated that entire thing.
Like, I feel like if anything, that's just opening himself up to vulnerability, though.
True.
Like, I get that it's, haha, I've got a knife to her, a knife to her throat. You start pulling shit. However, the reverse is also true.
No, you're not wrong. You are not wrong.
not that she knows he's
Well,
Daredevil, but
well,
but still,
yeah, that's very true. And it's not like she can talk about him either. So
confidentiality and all that shit.
confidentiality and all that shit. So yeah. It's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. How do you feel about like the street interviews that randomly happen? Like I don't know if I don't like those.
You mean outside of the courthouse or the ones with Kingpin?
No, the ones that are just random in the show, like where they were like, "Oh, how do you feel about this and what do you
Oh,
think about
yeah.
that?" Like,
Those those don't happen often in real TV, do they? I
no,
mean, like,
no, they
they're
don't.
more like, here's a generic, you know, "Oh, no, gas prices are coming up." That's when you get somebody some rando's perspective. You don't but but yeah, I don't know how much I don't really like that. And my other problem is in original Daredevil, Wilson Fisk was the boogeyman. Like Wesley didn't even say his name for like the first half of the until like the last two episodes of the season.
True. Like no one would say his name. Yeah,
Yeah. The thing is, at this point, he has already been openly convicted of murder on several occasions, like several counts. And all this shit, he's been like convicted and he served time. Um, how is he mayor? How is he even legally allowed to run for mayor?
so that was my other thing too. I'm like the pacing of this show, and then like that particular aspect, like he like comes home. I want to be mayor. Literally, like 30 minutes later, he's fucking mayor. I'm like, what is going? What is even happening right now? And then, like you said, like because I just rewatched season one a week ago, and I'm like, how the fuck he's convicted? Like you said, went to trial, convicted. Like, how was he even able to run for mayor? How the fuck did he even win? Like that was wild for me. That was
And
wild.
it just, I get that they're trying to say how powerful he is, but again, we're not dealing with season one Daredevil where no one knew who he was.
Right.
Like he's more. I mean, he's never overtly confirmed it, but like there was an overwhelming preponderance of evidence, and like again, bodies were dropping
Yes.
because of him.
Yeah.
He legally couldn't run. A and B. There's no fucking way you'd get enough votes to be elected if you were playing it straight.
Not at all.
Which,
Not at
at
all.
least to my knowledge, until he actually got elected, seems like he was. It wasn't until he got elected and the police chief was giving him shit that he started to pull his old tricks.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, oh, I just want to do good for the city. We can't be in the drug game. I don't want to be doing illegal stuff. We got to do stuff legitimately. We got to get out of that business and get into this one. And I'm like, all right, so you want to go from one shady dealings to another shady dealings in politics. But good.
The one thing I do find interesting is, to what degree does he buy into his own hype?
Mm.
I, it's an interesting question. Does he earnestly believe he wants to go straight and do right for the city, but he just sees being Kingpin again is essentially the only way to do it? Or was it always bullshit on every level, and he's just using it as a power grab?
Echo changed him, don't you know?
Oh yeah, I forgot they fucking referenced Echo. It was a blink and you miss it line, but they fucking referenced Echo.
Yep, it was a throwaway, but they definitely referenced Echo. I was waiting for him too, though. I was like, they're gonna reference this bitch, aren't they? And they did.
I
They
mean,
did not fail.
for what little fairness that deserves, you can't not. Like, they can't ignore it. At
Well,
least
yeah,
not if you want the story to be coherent.
I was gonna say, especially since he's got like this very somber and like, I just want to be different. Well, you got to talk about why he wants to be different, or at least
And
reference it.
where the fuck was Vanessa during all of that Echo shit?
Good question. She was running. She was running the empire. She was running the empire. Don't you know?
For 18 years?
For what is that the time frame? Like, I don't even know what the hell the time frame is.
But I mean, like, I, I feel like Echo. What's her name? Maya.
I think so. Wow,
Like, she's been affiliated with Kingpin in one way or another since she was like 6.
yeah.
Which means, assuming Netflix Daredevil, there's no way in hell Vanessa doesn't know her personally at this point, if they're as close as they're supposed to be.
I mean, that's also true. That's also true.
Because again, if you remember with Echo, he was earnest for a given value of earnest in his desire to reconnect with.
Source.net.
Oh, shut up.
When someone is said to be.
But does that make sense?
No, it does. It does.
So it's like, I get that they're like, oh, he was just convalescing. That's why she wasn't there, because he decided to go to fuck off and convalesce for some reason.
Yeah.
But given the fact that they were still answering to Kingpin at the time, very clearly, if she was supposedly running the Empire, she would have known where the fuck he was. So what's the issue? Am I wrong?
No, you're not. You're not wrong. I was like thinking the same thing. I'm like, this bitch is in charge. I'm like, what is going on? I need to know the time lapse. Is it like, because I don't know how far this is into the future after Daredevil Netflix series, after Echo series. Like,
yeah, where is this in the MCU timeline?
Where
that's
is
the question.
Yeah, where is this? Because like, how long? Like, so Penguin just see, all right, here I go again. So fucking Kingpin just has like this pseudo daughter on the side, and Vanessa has no idea she exists. Like,
and they supposedly have family dinners every Sunday. Remember?
Yes, I just find that very. I think this is a continuity thing. I feel like they forgot. I feel like they did not realize that Vanessa was a thing and knew what his dealings, and she would have fucking been there.
And given how psychotically devoted Kingpin was to Vanessa in Daredevil season 1, in Netflix's Daredevil, there's no fucking way he would have been like, "Hi, pseudo daughter. Here's your new mom." Like,
he would have. Would have.
Like, I don't even know how you make an argument against that.
He would have somehow incorporated her into his life with Vanessa. So
Because again, we run into the fact that, as far as I could tell, he was earnest. Like, he earnestly wanted a father-daughter relationship with Maya,
yeah,
and he earnestly loved his wife in a psychotic way. But
in his own way, I guess. Yeah.
but it was, again, earnest insofar as that he's capable of that. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does. No, that makes sense.
Oh, a vigilante shot me. It's like, that was your daughter, dude. Didn't she heal your didn't she heal your bippity boppity bullshit?
Oh man.
Didn't
Jeez.
didn't she cure you with the power of the big sad? What,
Oh, I
like,
know. Aren't you changed now? You cried, so you're fine. You're fine.
but I mean, does he also not realize that that puts the girl that, even as of the end of Echo, he still loved her.
He did.
He literally, like, she's the definition of a vigilante. Does he not realize this?
I don't think they realized it when they wrote the show.
Like,
like I said, there's a lot of things I think they did not realize when they wrote the show. I think so.
and like you said, Foggy's death, it's a good thing to set up Matt's motivation, but what a waste of Foggy.
Oh,
For
dude,
that to be all they do with him.
such a fucking waste. Excuse me. Such a fucking waste, man.
Like, at least do flashbacks where, because how long has it been since Daredevil on Netflix? Roughly?
Well, let's see. Daredevil Netflix. I'll look it up and I'll tell you when, because I think it only had the 3 seasons. Let's see. When did that? 2015 is no. That's when. Yeah. No.
That's when it.
2018.
So it
2018 is
stopped
when
airing
season
in
3.
2018.
Yes.
Okay, it's now 2025. I'm just going to completely ignore the 5-year time skip.
Oh, I fucking
Yeah.
forgot about that.
So I'm not even. We can assume the 3 of them were all snapped away.
Right.
Um.
Which, and before you go, the fact that like neither of them mention it at all. Like no one mentions, not even like a throwaway line about, oh man, that fucking blip. Like no one like mentions it at all. But go ahead.
And no one mentioned it in She-Hulk either. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
ever since, like, they were official, like, oh, he's part of the MCU, he's never brought up the blip.
Nope.
But and gee, it's really convenient that all 3 of them got snapped away at this. They all happened to be snapped away. He had the reverse of Hawkeye luck.
Oh yeah. Don't you do it. Don't give me hope.
But in all seriousness, if you're going to kill Foggy in the opener, do Arrow style flashbacks.
True.
Because
True.
he was still active as Daredevil, from my understanding. He was still active as Daredevil until Foggy died. Which means you could easily make a minimum of, let's see, you have 2018, 2019, like, you have like at least 4 or 5 years you can play with where he's doing his shit. So you can have Foggy there in flashback form.
Correct.
But just to kill him off, why?
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. Like I feel like it was only a tool used to uh, get Daredevil, get Matt back in a dilemma, an existential crisis. Essentially, I feel like that's all. It was a pathway just to get him back to this feeling of, should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I do it? Should I not do it? It's probably better off I not do it. I think that's the only. It was just the only driving force for that. Like, for no other reason, that was it. And it's like, you couldn't come up with any other scenarios like that. That was the scenario for you, just to kill off Foggy. Like, Jesus.
But again, you have anywhere from 3 to 8 years to play with in flashbacks, depending
Yeah.
on how you want to play it. Like,
I would love that if they did some flashbacks, take us back to some shit going on and show us, I don't know, show us how things were, leading up to these events. But they're not going to do that.
and the other thing that confuses me, especially given what you said about season 3 and he never killing anybody, when Foggy said, "No, I didn't want to give you the temptation." The temptation for what? He was already doing Daredevil shit.
He was already doing Daredevil shit.
You've clearly forgiven him because you're still in practice with each other.
Yeah.
Like, because the most on the outs I remember them being was the very end of season 2. When Foggy's like, "Fuck it, close our tab, we're done here."
Yeah.
Like, that was but they're very clearly, like, they aren't shy around each other, they aren't awkward, like, they're back in the groove as friends at this point. So this whole, "I didn't want to give you temptation," literally for what? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't understand it either.
Okay, so I'm not just missing something obvious?
No. I don't understand why he said that either. Maybe, chat, if we're missing something, you let us know. But yeah, I don't know why he would. The temptation. I don't know. Like, did he stop doing Daredevil shit? Like, is that
Again, except for the fact that we saw him in Spider-Man, and well, I mean, he technically
right.
didn't do Daredevil shit, but it's implied that he's still Daredevil.
And She-Hulk, right? Yeah.
And in She-Hulk,
right.
Again, technically, like,
no, you're right.
Again, we're running into nothing about those appearances that he wasn't doing Daredevil shit.
True.
In fact, he explicitly was doing Daredevil shit in She-Hulk.
Yes, he was.
Which, as far as I know, chronologically happens before this show.
No, it does. Yeah, I
think unless there's some
2 years. Oh, as far as the timeline.
No, I'm referring to the show's timeline, not timeline of reality.
No. Yeah.
Unless in the MCU timeline this happened before She-Hulk. I don't know. Now I'm confusing myself.
Maybe. I don't fucking know, man. I can Google it and see.
But I mean, it's not an empty question. Like, this matters.
No, you're right. You're right. You are absolutely right. No, yeah, that's a good question. I'm like, is there even an MCU anymore though? Like, or is it just fucking Marvel? Is it just Marvel shit now?
As far as I know, they're still operating as though it's the MCU, so I'm going to still treat it as though it's the MCU and all the problems that opens up.
Yeah.
Until they openly are like, you know what, this isn't part of the MCU anymore. We're done. You know what I mean?
No, I do. I just didn't know if it was like, if there is an MCU anymore, or we're just doing Marvel one-offs or just movies. Like, I don't know.
They didn't give it the Spotlight label.
They did not.
And the Spotlight label are supposed to be the ones you can watch without watching the rest of the MCU. Supposedly. And that's the only show. Yeah, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the only show that they officially did that for was fucking Echo, because they wanted so badly to throw it away that they had to go. I feel like they wanted so badly to be like, we're not releasing this shit. Oh, we're contractually obligated to. Well, shit. We'll put it under a different banner that says "fuck the rest of the MCU."
All right. Let's see. Oh, so here's the thing too. Disney has revealed that the viewership ratings for the heavily promoted Daredevil Born Again series, and much like its show itself, they're off to a slow start, roughly on par with Agatha, one of the lowest rated shows on Disney. Yeah.
I slow clapped. I'm not sure if it came through on the mic, but I slow clapped.
It did. The numbers are also lower than the Acolyte, and Ahsoka, as well as Percy Jackson, and significantly lower than Low-Key.
Okay, this show has its problems. It does, but it is not Acolyte bad. It is not Agatha bad. Like, that just says to me that no one gives a fuck about Disney Plus.
True.
Because this.
So why are they? And that, you know, it was. Go ahead.
This more than anything shows that Disney Plus is dying as a platform. Because if anything's going to bring people in, it's going to be a continuation of the fucking Netflix Daredevil show.
But this is why Disney Plus is also doing that. If you're outside of the family household, you can't share your password anymore, because they're bleeding subscribers. But then at the same time, it's like no one's gonna fucking subscribe and pay for Disney Plus. Like, that's not gonna want to make people pay for Disney Plus.
You don't have enough good shit.
Correct. Okay, so that was a different article. That article is about ratings, but I'm gonna go to the article about. I'll keep that one on because that one's interesting. But in regards to what we were talking about, it says Matt Murdock is retired in Daredevil Born Again. It says one of the key things I noticed from Daredevil Born Again's trailer is that begins with Matt Murdock having retired as Daredevil. The trailer hints that at some point Murdock crossed the line while operating as Daredevil, which some have theorized means that he may have killed someone, forcing him to hang up the cowl and resume life as a regular lawyer. This seems to allow him to enter into a tenuous truce with Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk, which I'm excited to see. But Daredevil's retirement raises some big questions for the MCU. So apparently he's retired.
I get what they're going for there. Again, assuming not to do with the timeline shit or anything. Because he did intend to kill the guy that offed Foggy. He even said so. He threw him off the roof wanting to kill him.
Correct.
The fact that he regenerated, explanation still needed, by the way. Doesn't absolve the fact that he did that with the intent of that ending the guy's life.
True. Very true.
So I get the whole retirement angle for somebody like him who has a strict no-kill rule, like it's Batman level. I could see that causing him to retire. My issue is just my issues derive mainly from the timeline stuff. I'm not saying that you couldn't have this as a setup, but again,
well, no, because if this is the case, then it definitely happened off screen, and if that's the case, we definitely need to see it on screen, because like it's bullshit. Like we don't see the one moment that supposedly forces him to be done, to retire, so to speak, because he
Because
doesn't kill
that's
anyone in
the other
Daredevil
thing.
season 3.
That's the other thing that confused me too was that scene in was it the second episode when they put a gun to his head and he just beats the living piss out of him
Right.
and screams. The way they framed that scene, I thought he killed one of them, and that's why he
I did
screamed.
too. I did too.
But
I
the way
thought
that
one
they
of
played it
them.
in episode 3, they're like, oh, they got roughed up. I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
he literally did that all the time as Daredevil.
I that scene, I saw one of the guys get his neck looked like it snapped on the floor. I'm like, this guy should be dead. Like, there's no, like, this guy's not roughed up. He should be dead. Like, what is
But the
going
thing is,
on?
and I wouldn't even object if that happened, and that was the cause of his reaction. But in the next episode, I mean, he's angry, but he's very. I don't get the impression he's not acting like somebody who has overdeveloped conscience who killed somebody.
No,
He's just
no.
like, oh, I went further than I wanted to, but in no way did they act like somebody died.
So it says, he said, I'm very confused about the details surrounding Matt Murdock's retirement in Daredevil Born Again, as it makes little sense in the MCU's timeline. And it says Daredevil's retirement doesn't make sense since the MCU after She-Hulk. A retirement storyline for Matt Murdock and Daredevil Born Again would certainly be very interesting under normal circumstances, but in the current MCU timeline, I don't think this makes a lot of sense. Matt Murdock was not retired during the events of She-Hulk, which was set in 2025's timeline, while Daredevil Born Again is seemingly set in the MCU's present day of late 2026. Born Again must be set after the events of Echo, which teased Wilson Fisk's Kingpin becoming mayor of New York, and Echo was also set in 2025. Yeah.
So here's the real question, Barber. Is Screen Rant for once doing something based, or have we been assimilated that we're agreeing with Screen Rant?
Oof. Maybe for once, Screen Rant is doing something based. I'm gonna go with that. This is what we were literally just saying this though. So here's the timeline. We got Daredevil season 1 and 2, 2015, 2016. Daredevil season 3, 2018. We got that Spider-Man appearance in 2021. We got that She-Hulk appearance in 2022. Then we have that Echo appearance in 2025 and Daredevil Born Again this year. But She-Hulk, the year was supposed to be 2025. And then this year, this show is supposed to be the year later, I think.
Right. Well, I mean, would have started the same year and then done the year time skip, I think. Or at least, but either way, the point still stands.
Yeah, either way. I would say, ever since the series was first announced by Marvel, there have been speculation that Daredevil Born Again could explore the 5-year-long blip from Avengers Endgame more detail, examining the world-changing event from the street-level perspective of the MCU is something that I've been desperate to see, and this could explain the timeline issues that was spotted in Daredevil trailer. We know Daredevil was active in 2018 as he fought Maya Lopez during that time, but he didn't reappear until 2024 set She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
Which I agree with pretty much all of that. They never established that that this Daredevil show was happening anything but present day, minus the year,
Right.
minus the year in the prologue. So, oh my god, if Screen Rant is more based on the MCU, I'm fucking scared.
Has hell frozen over? Like, is it hell must
I
have frozen over at this point? Like, for fuck's sakes, man. Wow. Or maybe you know what?
yeah,
Maybe it's just about time. Maybe the tides are turning. You know, maybe this it's about time.
I can't remember the
You
last
know?
time I like unironically agreed with a Screen Rant article.
Agreed. Agreed. Likewise, I can't remember either. I cannot remember either. Yeah, 100%. 100% agree with that. So yeah, so maybe that's I don't like it. I don't like the fact that we don't get to see Matt cross the line. Or maybe we will, I don't know, but I feel like if we were gonna it should have been done by now. Like we should have seen it by now. Um
I would still make the argument that their version of crossing the line was the guy that he threw off the roof.
mm,
Because again, he did that intending to kill him.
yeah. I
So
just
that, I mean, he didn't, but that was bippity boppity bullshit and fluke circumstances. But that's also because it's like you have the MA rating, have Matt Murdock kill somebody
true.
and have him wrestle with it. Do it.
Show us the fucking show us. Like don't fucking hint at it, you know, or some shit that's happening off screen. Like I want to see this shit. Like I want to see why he decided to retire. You know,
Yeah, and if I'm right that it was that guy, don't be like lol JK. He has Wolverine regeneration. Actually, have him
yeah,
die.
actually have someone die. Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I feel like it was probably easier. I think there was somebody before that guy. I think that it was probably easier for him to just throw that guy off the building because he had already killed someone already. So, so
which I suppose that's an equally valid interpretation. Um,
I don't know.
but I get Foggy wouldn't be chill with him if that were the case,
I mean, that's
and yet
also true. Well, this
and
is
yet
this.
they were very chill.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is the thing, though. It's like we don't know fuck all about that time with this gap, this time period of their relationship. Like we don't know what's happening. We don't know what's going on. That's why, like you said, some flashbacks would be good for some context, right? Like we some frame of reference, like that. It would be good to have these things so we can have a better picture of their friendship and how they progress. But all we can do is speculate based off of the show that we saw back in 2015, 16, and 18. So
And until we get those flashbacks, both Karen and Foggy are essentially jangling keys.
yes,
A
yeah,
jangling of keys with a dash of Uncle Bet. Like that's
dude. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, Django fucking keys. Django fucking keys immediately. Because I remember in the initial promo for the show when it got announced, they were like, "Oh, we're not gonna have the actors who play Foggy and Karen. They're not gonna be in the show." Like that was the initial news when they first announced Daredevil. Like, oh yeah, they're not gonna be in it. It's gonna be more Matt. And then like I don't after the writers strike, I think, and then they're like, oh no, like we're gonna have them come back. They didn't say how long though. They were like, oh yeah, yeah, we'll have them come back. So people are like, oh yeah, okay. So the trio's gonna be back on screen again. And then when they are on screen, it's like nope, because one of them gets shot and killed, and the other one fucks off to LA. So, oh man, God, it's like I almost rather them not even have them on screen together as a trio. Like I feel like just have Foggy just open up the show with Matt doing his thing, have Foggy doing his, have Foggy getting killed, have Karen finding out, talking to Matt. Then she fucks off. Like, I'd rather just that than have like this nostalgia bait fucking bullshit where they're all at the bar at Josie's and they're drinking and they're having a good time. And I like, fuck off.
And again, they were very, very chummy for I didn't want you to be tempted.
They were very
like
fucking chummy. Yeah.
If you still mistrust Matt to the point where I don't want you to be tempted is your first instinct, you guys shouldn't have been that chummy.
Nope.
There should have been awkward dialogue, like deliberately awkward to show, oh, they aren't in a great place, and then
I agree. Yeah, lowest rating show on Disney Plus. So which, you know what? I don't see that's, and you know what? I will give the show this. I do not think it's as, I don't mind the show. Honestly, I don't dislike it. To me, it's inoffensive. Like I said, I have my problems with it, but I can watch it and not be like, "Oh, I'm watching this again." I'm fine watching it. Like, I'm fine. I can watch it. There are shows though that we did try to attempt on Disney Plus and we just couldn't fucking do it. It was like 1 or 2 episodes. We just couldn't fucking do it. And I don't think this is one of those shows. You know what I mean?
Again, like, the damage done to the characters is all damage done outside of this show. Like, this show so far hasn't really done damage to Kingpin or Matt. Not really. They've had to deal with the damage that other shows have done, but they haven't in and of themselves done damage.
True.
So, I mean, like,
True.
I'm like, this is, I think, the first time for a Disney Plus show I've been unironically interested in what they're going to do next since.
Correct.
Probably like episode 2 of Percy Jackson. Like,
no, that's fair.
Because again,
that's
at
fair.
least to begin with, I don't recall hating Percy Jackson, the show. It was later on when it started piling up. I was like, that's when I started to hear it.
Yeah.
It wasn't episode 2 or 3. It was like,
it was like the pacing and like later on, the later episodes there. But from what I hear, the later episodes of Daredevil are supposed to be bangers. So these first 4 are supposed to be like the slow ones, like the slow episodes, and then like 5 through, I don't know how many there are, 14, 16, I think. They're supposed to be the bangers.
But here's the problem. No one's going to watch them.
I mean, I guess we'll see.
You had your shot to get your audience, you failed.
Right.
What's the classic line? You had your shot, you took it, you missed.
Overall, not horrible so far. But I won't go as far as saying, like, oh, Marvel's done it. I'm not fucking saying that at all. All I'm saying is the show's tolerable. Probably one of the most tolerable starts for in live action MCU shows. Oh, you know what? I take that back. WandaVision actually started out pretty good, actually, and then it hit the rails, like episode 5 or 6 or some shit like that. So,
as soon as Wanda left the Hex,
yes,
as soon as she left the Hex field, I was done.
That's when it's like, oh, okay, fuck off. This was like had such a good premise. I thought this was like going somewhere really cool, and it's like, oh,
lol, never mind.
He's the big sad. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if this show could be the one. We'll see. Apparently, it's not how you start; it's how you finish. So, excuse me.
Yeah, well, it doesn't exactly help if the other party leaves in the middle.
Oh god. Yeah, I know. I know. Maybe they'll write Karen back in. Maybe she's like, maybe they'll do that.
That's
I
what I'm
don't know.
hoping for.
If they don't, some jangling fucking keys for sure. But maybe they'll write her back in. Uh, Maybe she'll see that he's become Daredevil. He's becoming Daredevil again. He's putting on the cowl. So maybe she'll
Oh,
come back.
one other question. What did you think about the journalist who is Matt's journalist friend's daughter or niece?
Oh, Ben Urich's niece.
Yeah,
Yeah, I I don't know. I'm like whatever. Like like he didn't have any kids, so like I don't know if they just like wanted to pay some respect to Ben Urich and be like, oh yeah, like this is his niece, and she's like, and is she like an independent journal reporter? Is that her thing? Like, is
I
she
don't
like an independent? I don't know, but I
I don't know her deal.
think it's kind of morbid that Penguin's kind of like using her. Like, I want Ben Urich's fucking niece to do my interviews. The same uncle that I fucking beat to death in his own house. Like,
And if I'm not mistaken, he actually did the deed that time.
he did. Yes, it was all him. He went to his house, fucking killed him. I'm pretty sure it was like it was season one. I don't know if it was the penultimate episode or the last one, but it might have been the end of the penultimate episode. He just fucking killed Ben Urich just right there in his house. And now he's like, yeah, 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 I'll interview with his niece. And I'm like, I don't think it's out of some type of guilt or anything like that. Like he like wants to help this girl. It's like this is like some type of sociopathic shit. Like,
That
yeah, it's
does
like,
sound like the kind of shit somebody like that would do.
yeah, it's like, oh, I couldn't control her uncle, but now I can control her. I can control. This is a York that I can control, so to speak. It's just some kingpin shit. But I don't know. It was like whatever. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes, though. You know,
Yeah, I haven't necessarily written the show off yet.
because I don't know if she's just kind of who knows what her intentions are. If they've even thought about that far. Like I don't even know if they even have a character for her other than being Ben Urich's niece, and she's like a journalist. Like I don't even know if she even has like
She's
motivations or
discount Ben Urich. That's all
yeah,
she is.
we knew Ben right out the gate. We knew Ben was like a really well known, really established reporter who kind of fell off, so to speak, but was still respected. Like we knew that, and we knew that he was a dog with a bone. Like he would whatever he would go after a story, even if he knew his life was in jeopardy or what it would cost. Like we knew that about him, and I don't know if we're just going to get that type of uh character uh from her. Like I just don't know if that's going to come from her. But like they could have an angle where she's like, just kind of trying to get in his inner circle so she can try to take him out herself or some shit. Like I don't know. Like she could harbor some resentment toward Kingpin and just trying to get close to him. She could be trying to take him down herself, but I don't know if they even want to write that angle. Like I don't that seems like a lot for Marvel to do multiple things at once. So I don't know.
Yeah, that does seem like a lot for post Endgame Marvel.
It's like character development for multiple characters. Ah, shit.
Actual intrigue, holy shit!
I know compelling stuff. Oh no. Oh no. Let's just type of focus on one or two and keep it at that. Although, like, I know Punisher's coming in. I know he's coming in this show, and they better fucking do him right. They better do him right. And if they don't, I think I'm gonna be done watching it. So you'll have to give me the cliff notes if you continue.
That's your make or break, huh? How they treat your boy.
Yep, that's my make or break right there.
Totally
Right
fair.
there. I mean, comic book wise, they already fucked him over by taking away his guns, giving him this pussy ass symbol, and then give him fucking size as weapons and a katana. I'm like, fuck off. Like, he's not a ninja, all right? Like, he was in the fucking military. Like, he was Black Ops. He's not a fucking ninja. Like, that's not how he speaks. Like, he's got
He's
fucking
Black Ops
pistols.
Scarface.
Yeah, like, what? Are you fucking shitting me? You think the skull? You thought the skull was too aggressive? Like, what? What? Dude, that was crazy. They were like, "Oh, the skull is too offensive, too aggressive, it's too violent." Like, fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here.
They're probably the same. Those assholes are probably the same assholes who changed who made the Ninja Turtles movies, make it so that they couldn't use their weapons.
Yeah, probably. Probably. It's like, for fuck's sakes, man. Like, the weapons were a part of, like, they're a part of they're like a very important part of their characters. Like, honestly, like, anybody who knows the Ninja Turtles, like, they know, people know the names, like, right out of the gate, one. But then the fans, like, they know the weapons. And if anything, everyone knows Michelangelo has the nunchucks. Like, if anything, people know that. Like, that's just the association. Like, nunchucks, fucking size, katana. Like, people know with these weapons. Like, you can't take away their fucking weapons. Like,
hell, the whole reason Raphael has the size is because that's the non-aggressive weapon, because he's such a fucking hothead. Splinter's like, no, you know what? You don't need a sword. You need
exactly. You need defense, my friend. We know what you can do on offense, all right? You got to be more passive, my guy. You got to be more passive. Oh, man. Shit. Oh, man. But yeah, fucking took my boy's guns away and gave him a fucking katana. I just fucking can't.
You know what's bad? I really want to see a hypothetical world where Raphael has the fucking sword.
Oh, God. So everyone could just get
Ninja Turtles.
I was gonna say, so everyone could just get murdered. No fucking remorse, just with reckless abandon. Raphael just like, fuck off, done. I feel like he would have that Punisher method where he's like, you knock him down to get back up. I put him down, they fucking stay down.
They don't get him back up after me.
Oh, God, that's great. That is great. Oh, shit.
And no, I'm not earnestly advocating that. I just think it'd be funny for an Elseworld story to be like, this is why he doesn't have a sword.
No, yeah, that was for this. Yeah, just for this conversation, for sure. All right, so what are you rating? What are you rating this show so far? Daredevil. We're 3 episodes in. We got a cop beat. We got dirty cop. Well, not dirty cops. Well, yeah, kind of. Yeah, dirty cops.
No, dirty cops. There are dirty cops.
Fanatics, Punisher fanatics. We got White Tiger, who got murdered just being a vigilante. We got Daredevil, who apparently retired. Apparently, he's retired. We got Foggy, who's murdered. We got Karen, who fucked off. We got a Kingpin who's trying to act like he's on the up and up, but doing things that would suggest he's not. And then we also got this one kid who's working for his administration, like the fucking simp kid who's just like, oh yeah, anything you want, I got you.
I feel like that's the kid that like Kingpin would kill out of principle.
Exactly. I'm like, this guy.
He just
like, where's the respect? Like, Kingpin like fucking smack him up, headbutt him, something like. Oh god, this kid's supposed to represent like the modern worldview of a fucking, I don't know, TikToker nowadays. I guess who the fuck knows.
But you know another show that did that and did it really well? Penguin with Vic. And the whole point was to get Vic to nut up.
True. Yeah, very, very true. Penguin did it better. Penguin did it better. So yeah, first 3 episodes. What are you rating? You can just rate them as a whole. You don't have to do one by one.
Let's see. 4.5.
4.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I was gonna say like a 5.
If 5 is average. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say like 5, 5.5. I'm just right in the middle. Right in the middle. That's where I'm sitting. That's where I'm sitting. So.
It definitely could improve if they, as long as they address these issues.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Acknowledge their issues and please address them.
Which, like you said, they could do. They could do. It's still early. There's plenty of episodes left, so I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens from here. All I know is that so far, this show is not doing well ratings-wise, which is not surprising because there's not enough shit on Disney Plus. And
not that people care about.
And they've lost a lot of good faith because of the shit they've put out. So, yeah.
All I know is we just never underestimate the power of the handicap. Just don't do it.
Don't fucking do it, people. And on that note, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to our Daredevil Born Again review, episodes 1, 2, and 3. We do ask that you Hawk smash, not She-Hulk smash, but actually Hawk smash that like button and subscribe. Leave a comment and let us know what you guys think about Daredevil Born Again. If there's anything we missed, if there's anything we forgot about, or if we need to be corrected, or if you guys have a point of view, definitely let us know. Obviously, we don't know everything, but just leave a comment and hit that bell for notifications and share this video out there. And you guys take care.
Bye, everybody.
Never underestimate the power of the handicap.
I had to. It was...